We live in an age obsessed with speed, instant gratification, viral fame, and the tantalizing promise of overnight success. From the glowing screens of social media to the headlines splashed across newsstands, the story sells itself. You can be an overnight sensation. You can achieve everything in a blink, but what if this story is a lie? Behind every overnight success, there are years, sometimes decades, of struggle, failure, and unyielding consistency. The silent hours no one sees. The countless times they could have given up but didn't. The truth hidden behind the illusion is simple yet profound. Power is never instantaneous. It is forged in the slow, grinding furnace of persistence. But why does society glorify quick wins? Why are we so enamored with the myth of sudden triumph, even as it sets us up for disappointment, frustration, and abandonment? The answer lies deep within our collective psyche, and within the very structures that shape our modern lives. In a world engineered for distraction, where algorithms reward fleeting attention and the media sensationalizes speed, patience has become a forgotten virtue. Yet this consistency, this stubborn refusal to quit, is the quiet force that underpins every form of true power. This is a story about power, about resilience, about the relentless human spirit that refuses to be broken by failure or deterred by delay. This is the story of why consistency is power, and why those who master it win forever. So the question is, are you ready to see beyond the illusion? History is not shaped by sudden flashes of genius alone. True transformation unfolds over time, born from relentless consistency. The rise and fall of civilizations, the tides of empires, and the revolutions that redefine societies all bear the fingerprints of steady, deliberate action sustained across generations. Consider the Roman legions. Their might did not come from impulsive heroics or fleeting inspiration. It was discipline, a rigorous, unwavering commitment to training, strategy, and order that forged an empire spanning continents. Day after day, century after century, their soldiers marched with purpose, building a legacy that lasted 1,000 years. Centuries later, the Renaissance was not merely a burst of creativity, it was the result of patient cultivation. A slow awakening of human potential, fueled by persistent inquiry and accumulation of knowledge. The artists, scientists, and philosophers who ignited this cultural rebirth understood that greatness emerges not in isolated moments, but through steady dedication to craft and truth. Even the most brilliant figures in history embody this truth. Nietzsche spoke of the will to power, not as reckless ambition, but as the disciplined exercise of will, a continuous struggle to overcome oneself. Stoic philosophers echoed this, teaching that mastery over one's impulses and emotions, and enduring consistency in thought and action, was the path to true freedom. In contrast to fleeting moments of brilliance, history rewards those who build, with patience and perseverance. Fleeting inspiration fades, habits endure. The small actions repeated over time compound, shaping not only individual destinies, but the very course of human history. This pattern is timeless. It connects the past with the present, reminding us that the forces behind lasting power are often invisible, silent, and slow. The deliberate persistence that ancient warriors, Renaissance thinkers, and Stoic sages embraced continues to hold sway over our world today. Understanding this is crucial, for it prepares us to delve deeper into the psychological battle each of us faces, the struggle to remain consistent amidst chaos and distraction. It is here, between history's lessons and our own minds, that the true power of consistency begins to reveal itself. Consistency is power. Yet paradoxically, it is one of the hardest things for the human mind to sustain. Why? Because our brains are wired for immediate reward, not for the slow accumulation of effort that true mastery demands. At the heart of this struggle lies what psychologists call the instant gratification bias. Our neural circuits are tuned to seek pleasure quickly, to avoid discomfort at all costs. When faced with the choice between a small reward now or a larger reward later, the mind almost always favors the immediate payoff, even if it means sacrificing long-term goals. This is why we abandon diets, give up on projects, or scroll endlessly through social media feeds instead of focusing on work that demands patience. Adding to this, decision fatigue erodes our ability to stay consistent. Every choice we make, no matter how trivial, saps mental energy. By the end of the day, our willpower is worn thin. The more we exercise self-control early on, the harder it becomes to maintain discipline later. This invisible drain on our cognitive resources often goes unnoticed, but plays a massive role in why consistency falters. Modern life intensifies these challenges. Social media platforms are engineered to exploit our vulnerabilities, feeding us dopamine hits in the form of likes, shares, and notifications. Each ping rewires our brains, reinforcing the need for instant gratification and fragmenting our attention. This digital cacophony creates a culture of impatience, where the idea of sustained effort feels alien, even burdensome. But consistency is more than just habit. It is a form of mental discipline, a battle against internal chaos and external manipulation. To remain consistent is to wage war against the restless impulses inside us, to resist the seductive pull of distraction and despair. This resistance is not just psychological, it is existential. Our minds fear stagnation, confusion, and failure. They crave certainty and quick wins as a defense mechanism against deeper anxieties about meaning and purpose. The battle for consistency is, therefore, also a battle for identity, who we want to become versus who we are tempted to be in fleeting moments. Recognizing these hidden mental struggles reveals why consistency feels like an uphill climb. It is not a simple matter of motivation or willpower. It is a profound confrontation with the architecture of our minds and the systems that surround us. Yet, understanding this struggle is the first step toward mastery. When we see consistency, not as a chore but as an act of rebellion against chaos, against a world designed to scatter our focus, we begin to unlock its true power. The path forward demands more than effort. It requires insight, strategy, and a deep psychological resilience, and that is the journey we are about to take. In today's world, the battle for consistency isn't fought solely within our minds. It extends into the very fabric of society. The forces shaping our collective reality have learned that inconsistency is a tool of control. Powerful institutions, governments, corporations, media conglomerates, understand that fragmented information and constant distraction fracture our ability to think critically and act collectively. When facts are splintered into viral sound bites and narratives shift like quicksand, confusion reigns. In this chaos, true power slips away from the many and consolidates in the hands of the few. The media ecosystem thrives on this inconsistency. It feeds a relentless stream of viral trends, sensational headlines, and emotionally charged stories designed to captivate fleeting attention rather than foster deep understanding. The constant barrage of conflicting messages leaves society disoriented, exhausted, and suspicious, not of the system itself, but of each other. This manufactured chaos breeds disillusionment and cynicism. When truth becomes relative and consensus, impossible collective action falters. Social cohesion, the glue that binds communities and movements, begins to unravel. The result is a population distracted, divided, and disconnected, unable to wield the power of sustained resistance or unified vision. Yet, beneath this tumult, a quieter, more profound form of power persists. Individuals and groups who maintain consistency in thought, values, and action stand apart as the true architects of culture and politics. They refuse to be swept away by the tide of distraction or the allure of quick trends. Their strength lies not in fleeting bursts of influence, but in enduring commitment to their principles and goals. History often overlooks these steady forces because their impact is gradual, sometimes invisible in the moment. But over time, Their persistence shapes the cultural landscape, shifts political power, and challenges entrenched systems. The ability to keep going when so many others falter is what ultimately defines who wins. This dynamic reveals a deeper truth about power. It is less about dramatic upheavals and more about who endures. Consistency in this light becomes a form of resistance against manipulation and control. It is a refusal to be fractured by a world designed to scatter focus and foster apathy. Understanding this unveils a hidden power struggle beneath the surface of daily life. The battles we see on the news, the controversies dominating social media, they are symptoms of a larger conflict over attention, patience, and persistence. Those who master consistency tap into a reservoir of strength that transcends momentary popularity. They become the slow-moving currents beneath the storm, shaping the future while the masses chase distractions. In a society engineered to celebrate speed and novelty, consistency is the quiet rebellion. It is the force that preserves truth, nurtures meaningful change, and sustains the will to win in the long run. The question then becomes clear. Will you succumb to the chaos, or will you claim the power that lies in simply keeping going? The path to success is rarely a sudden leap. Instead, it is built through countless small, consistent actions, a truth confirmed not only by philosophy but by science. Studies in psychology reveal the profound impact of what's often called the compound effect. Small behaviors repeated day after day accumulate exponentially over time. A single extra hour of practice, a consistent morning routine, or a daily commitment to learning, these are not mere habits. They are the building blocks of mastery. Consider the world of sports where the difference between champions and also-rans often comes down to consistent training. Elite athletes don't rely on bursts of talent alone. They push their limits every day, refining skills, building endurance, and reinforcing discipline. Michael Jordan, often hailed as the greatest basketball player ever, famously said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." His success was not a mystery but a testament to relentless effort. In business, the story is similar. Companies that sustain growth and innovation aren't those chasing fads, but those who consistently refine their vision, adapt strategically, and execute with discipline. The most valuable brands, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, built their empires on persistent focus and gradual evolution, not overnight miracles. Creativity, too, thrives on consistency. Writers who write daily, musicians who practice relentlessly, and artists who show up to their craft every morning create bodies of work that outlast trends and pass the test of time. Creativity is not a lightning strike of inspiration. It is a steady flame maintained through dedication. Philosophically, this idea resonates deeply with existentialist thought. Existential authenticity demands that we create meaning through our actions, rather than seeking it externally. Consistency becomes not just a method for success, but a way to affirm purpose. Each deliberate effort affirms our commitment to who we want to be, turning fleeting achievement into lasting fulfillment. This transforms success from a superficial trophy into a deeply human journey. It is no longer about external validation, but about becoming, the gradual, often invisible process of shaping our character and destiny. Science, history, and philosophy converge on one profound insight. Those who master consistency do not just win once, they win forever. Because their success is not an event, but a lifelong pursuit. In a world obsessed with quick fixes and shortcuts, this truth offers a radical reframe. Real power, real mastery, is forged in the slow burn of persistence. Consistency is not a gift bestowed on the lucky few. It is a skill, a practice that can be cultivated even in the most chaotic of times. The challenge lies not in grand gestures but in small, intentional steps that build momentum and resilience. One of the most powerful tools to cultivate consistency is habit stacking. This simple technique involves linking new habits to existing routines, transforming small actions into automatic behaviors. For example, If you already brush your teeth every morning, use that moment to also practice a brief mindfulness exercise or set a daily intention. Over time, these tiny actions build into a web of consistent practices that anchor your day. Environment design is equally crucial. Our surroundings profoundly shape our behavior, whether it's the distractions of a cluttered desk or the cues that trigger procrastination. By intentionally crafting a space that supports focus, removing distractions, placing tools and reminders within reach, we reduce the friction that breaks consistency. This is not about perfection, but about creating conditions that make staying sharp easier. Mindset shifts rooted in Stoic and existential philosophy provide deeper support. Stoicism teaches us to embrace discomfort and uncertainty as natural parts of the journey. Instead of resisting difficulty, we learn to see it as fuel for growth. Existentialism reminds us that consistency is an act of self-definition. Each moment of persistence, a choice that affirms our authentic path. Resilience, then, is not simply enduring hardship, but responding with grace. This means practicing self-forgiveness when setbacks occur. Perfection is an illusion. Faltering is inevitable. The difference lies in how quickly we return to the path, how we treat ourselves in moments of failure. Compassion for oneself fuels the determination to keep going. Patience is the quiet companion to consistency. Progress is often invisible, measured not in dramatic leaps but in incremental gains. Those who endure understand that the journey is long and winding. They cultivate a steady gaze fixed not on immediate results, but on the horizon ahead. Consider the story of Maya, a writer who faced years of rejection before her work found an audience. She did not wait for inspiration to strike, but wrote daily, even when words felt heavy and progress seemed absent. Her persistence transformed doubt into confidence and obscurity into impact. Maya's journey is a testament to the power of showing up, again and again, in spite of uncertainty. Building and sustaining consistency is not easy. It requires strategy, patience, and courage. But within this struggle lies a profound reward: the power to shape our destiny and cultivate a life of meaning. Consistency is the art of keeping sharp amidst the noise. It is the quiet victory of those who choose to endure. Consistency is the invisible thread weaving through the fabric of personal destiny and the vast tapestry of history. It is the quiet force that, while often overlooked, shapes who we become and what the world ultimately remembers. From the slow march of ancient legions to the patient strategies of visionaries, from the small daily habits of individuals to the movements that redefine societies, consistency is the power that endures. It is the steady hand guiding change, the persistent heartbeat beneath every revolution, every masterpiece, every triumph. In a culture obsessed with instant results and flashy success, this truth stands as a radical challenge. To rethink our relationship with time, effort, and achievement, to recognize that real power is not found in sudden explosions, but in the slow, deliberate unfolding of will over time. Embracing consistency is more than adopting a tactic. It is an existential rebellion, a refusal to surrender to distraction, impatience, and the chaos that seeks to fracture us. It is a declaration of freedom, a choice to define ourselves by the values we uphold and the persistence we sustain. This journey is not easy. It demands resilience, patience, and above all, faith in the unseen process. But it also offers a profound reward, the ability to carve meaning from the passage of time, to build a legacy not of fleeting glory, but of enduring influence. Every moment we choose to show up, to keep going despite doubt and difficulty, we wield a quiet but extraordinary power. It is the power to shape not just our own lives, but the world around us. So ask yourself, in a world that celebrates the fast and the flashy, will you be the one who endures? The one who understands that consistency is not merely a habit, but the essence of victory itself. The true win is not a momentary triumph, it is the lifelong commitment to keep going, stay sharp, and win forever.